If you ask anyone putting their money to work in the market what their ultimate goal is, the answer is almost always the same. They want to compound their capital as fast as humanly possible. And the natural instinct is to assume that achieving that speed requires finding a hidden edge. We convince ourselves that to win, we need to uncover a magic bullet or execute a complex, once-in-a-lifetime trade that no one else saw coming. This assumption eventually crystallizes into a single dominant question that drives almost every financial decision. How can I get rich as fast as possible? But here's the reality. Stretching for those outsized returns by attempting highly complex, difficult maneuvers doesn't actually speed up the process. Aiming for sheer brilliance is rarely a shortcut. In most cases, trying to outsmart the market is simply the quickest path to introducing massive, unnecessary risk into your portfolio. That intense drive to accelerate wealth triggers a well-documented psychological trap known as action bias. Action bias is the internal voice that convinces us that doing something, even if it's highly risky and unproven, feels inherently better and more productive than standing still and doing nothing. It's like forcing a delicate machine to run at triple its capacity. The harder you push to force a result, the more likely the system is to crack under the pressure. In the real world, this psychological pressure forces investors into terrible positions. It pushes them to take on high levels of leverage, attempt to time unpredictable market swings, and chase speculative hype right at the top of a bubble. Ironically, the active, high-friction effort to speed up wealth creation effectively manufactures the exact financial ruin those investors are trying to avoid. The most reliable advantage in building wealth often comes from a less glamorous place: the systematic avoidance of obvious, preventable mistakes. This was the core operating philosophy of legendary investor Charlie Munger. Instead of trying to be the smartest person in the room, Munger championed a preventative approach to decision-making. He attributed a massive portion of his decades-long success to a specific psychological framework called inversion thinking. Munger borrowed this concept from a 19th century mathematician named Carl Jacobi, who noticed a pattern in his own work. The hardest problems in life are often best solved by working backward. Applying Jacobi's rule means taking the standard goal of extreme growth and flipping it completely upside down, focusing entirely on protecting yourself from catastrophic loss. True financial clarity only arrives when you abandon the exhausting pursuit of brilliance in favor of the systematic elimination of stupidity. The first step is to take the question everyone else is asking and invert it. Instead of asking how to get rich, you ask, what guaranteed actions lead to financial failure? Asking the question this way forces an immediate shift in perspective. The path to failure is usually much clearer than the path to success. The answers become obvious very quickly. If you wanted to guarantee a disaster, you would pay exceptionally high management fees, you would panic sell your assets during market downturns, and you would borrow heavily to utilize excessive leverage. Once you have that list of terrible ideas, you turn those known hazards completely upside down. You take those exact actions, and you deliberately discard them. You eliminate the fees, you hold cash to prevent panic selling, and you operate without debt. By aggressively isolating and eliminating these specific failure points, you passively and automatically construct a highly resilient portfolio. Once the guaranteed paths to ruin have been successfully discarded, what remains is a portfolio uniquely insulated against severe shocks. It doesn't require constant tinkering because the primary threats have already been neutralized. That creates a deep sense of calm and stability. You can stand back and let time and compound interest do the heavy lifting. This framework provides a repeatable way to mitigate risk daily, rather than offering a one-time shortcut to wealth. When you strip away the noise and the hype, deliberately choosing not to be stupid is the most reliable, sustainable advantage you can ever hold over those desperately trying to be brilliant.